Hello, welcome to Pantheon of the Geeks. You join us for an unboxing of the Patrician's Brig for TT Combat Streets of Venice. We've got this for Carnivale.
We have.
And maybe D&D.
Yeah, I might be using these in D&D as well, so there we go. So welcome back. It's been a little while since we've done a video. We've been a little bit busy. Claire's been producing a baby.
A child.
A child, a human being. So that took a little bit of time, obviously.
Took 9 months.
Well, yeah. We still did some videos in the meantime.
We did, but yes, there has been a break because I had to go into hospital early. And yes, and I delivered a little baby boy.
There we go.
There we go.
So, so he's called Odin Legend. No, he's not. He's not. That's what I wanted to call him. I was overruled, and he's called Robert Luke.
Yes.
Robert being a family name, Luke after Luke Skywalker, and I wasn't having it any other way. There we go. But anyway, on with the unboxing.
That's just in case you hear any wailing or crying.
If you hear any wailing, that's why. We've
why.
not kidnapped a child. We have actually had one, and if he does start, he's been very good at the moment, but if he does, we apologise. But anyway,
we may put him on camera actually, just
maybe if you're extremely unlucky. Right. So let's get this open up. There are no instructions with these bolts, as TT Combat doesn't really put instructions in with the stuff anymore, but you can download it from the website. How practical that is for you is, I mean, if you've got a phone, smartphone, you can always bring it up on that. That's what Claire's doing right now.
Yeah.
If you're next to a computer or a laptop, great. Even better. You can see the instructions in the back.
If not, I suppose it's like a jigsaw. You can just...
It's an incredibly complex jigsaw. Well, so, we do have an image.
Nice. Oh, that wood smell.
The smell of wood.
The smell of wood.
Yes.
Yes. You should
keep that to yourselves. So we have some cardstock there. This is for the outside decoration on a Patrician bridge. We have some of the front sail there, and I don't know what those bits are for. I'm sure that'll come clear.
I think those are the windows kind of thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So we have various parts.
The main part
and
there.
these are 1, 2. So there's four of these sheets in here. It says 2 of 5, but the comic book one counts as a sheet. So there we go.
5.
So that's 5 of 5. So we need to. They're not numbered or anything in the instructions, so we just need to basically pop all these out. If you've never put any TT Combat training together, as I always say, go to the back part and push. You don't have to apply tons of pressure. If you find yourself having to apply a ton of pressure, then use a knife to cut. And if you go along the edges, you'll see there are parts that are attached. That's where you should focus any cutting that you do on these little bits. If you cut it from the back and you push it through from the back, it minimises any tearing on the front parts that you're going to be seeing more of. So the first thing to do is take everything off, and there is a lot of things on here, and there's a lot of thin parts on here. That's part of the mast, that's thin. So it's going to be a delicate process of taking all these off. I think some of these, like the anchor there, that is stuck in pretty hard. That's definitely going to take some fun with a knife to get that out. So let's go ahead and do all that, and then we'll be back to start putting it together. Okay, so we've taken everything off the sprues. So some things to know if you've never done one of these before, and this one seems particularly bad. Your hands will look something like this because of the burning into the wood, leaving all this soot. So yeah, this one did have a few tears on it, like the anchor, and that would be a problem. Both anchors were a problem. And on these I actually used some super glue and some activator to both super glue it back on and do it quickly so it didn't start to pull itself apart, because the wood seems to sort of prise once it's been torn and it's hard to put together. Some of the tears can be done with PVA quite easily, but some of the worst ones I'd just use super glue on. And there was a few on this one. Even one of the masts tore a bit. So this one's quite fiddly kit actually, especially for getting them just off the sprues. In some cases I just have to destroy the sprue around an area to get it off, but we've done it and we're ready to start putting it together.
Yay!
I think that was it, that was all I'm going to say. So I'm going to wash my hands first. They are going to get mucky again, but let's make a start. Okay guys, so the two parts we're going to start with is this long piece. This is like the spine of the ship, if you will. And this piece here, and they're going to go together in this cross section, like so. And so I'm just going to glue that in place. So that's stage one. Next up, we want these doors section, and we want these two pieces here, which are like H's with little crosses cut out. And then the door section is going to go onto this bit, and these are going to go one there and one on there. I presume these are the parts that are going to hold the masts later. And this is obviously the doors on the deck, which are sunk in. So we're going to stick these bits on. So next up we have the main deck. We also have these two pieces, or one piece that's got torn.
It was separate.
Are they separate?
It was separate, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I think these are two pieces, but they will be going together like that. So we need to attach the deck, which we're going to do. That's going to fit between those 2 points and over the top of those. So there's two little crosses in there. Again, that'll be where the masts go. So that'll help line it up, and this will help line it up. They're going to go on there, and then once that's on, this bit with this curve here lines up to the front of the ship, and then this bit, I believe, will go on like that. So we should. Oh, it's on the camera because it's that way around. That bit's going to go there, and this bit will attach on there, under there. And part 4, which is the next part, are these two pieces. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to line all this up in one big go. These go either side. So this bit here will be under there like that. So it's going to be easier just to line these up at the same time and make sure all this is going to get stuck on. So when I come back, all those parts should be attached. Okay, so the prow of the ship I'm holding together, something like this. Stage 5 is to attach these bits on. One goes here and one goes there, where those little notches are cut out, and that's what holds this front part together. Which is why it's important to do this bit really quickly after you've done this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and come back with that done. So we have the front part done. Next up we want to secure the back, so we want these weird parts there, and one of these. And these are going to go and line up with this on the back. We want one on either side. So we're going to wedge those in there. And then we have this part, which should fit into the little notch that's underneath, and around them and over the back. So I'm going to secure that bit and then come back. Okay, so now that we have this deck and these two parts on, we have the hull to build. The hull's made up of these parts. They're all numbered. There's a little 1 there and a 1 there. I'll show you this is the first one.
Yeah.
Then 2, 3, 4, and it'll go down like that. That's correct, isn't it?
I assume so.
Now, best I can ascertain, is if we tilt this, what we've actually built is a set of steps. We have a set of steps there at the back, a set of steps at the front, and we have these steps at the side. So these are going to need to fit around all these steps. So in theory, this one should fit there, and there,
Yeah.
and there.
Yeah, looking at the ones you've got left, they do kind of step down.
And they'll step down into the whole shape,
Yeah.
tapering in. So starting with one, it's going to fit there and there and there in the middle as well.
And you'll end with 7.
And we'll end with 7. So let's put them together.
Oh, and you have to be good with Roman numerals as well.
That's fine. Besides getting glue everywhere, that's the first one on. The instructions would be better actually flipping themselves upside down and showing you building it up like a set of steps. But have you got 2 then?
Yes, there's 2.
So 2 should rest in
I
there.
think that's the other side, Chuck.
Is it?
Yeah. And that's that one. Since you seem to have glued the number up against the hole.
So it's sort of the way it went on the first one,
Yeah.
so pretty much right. So that's 2.
3.
This will be 3. Let's see if that's on from where I am.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
No. So, he's pushing it a bit.
He's pushing it. And pushing it. I'm sure I just pushed that out.
Oh.
Oh.
Fine, that's no 4 even. Getting ahead of myself. That's
Yep.
it's pushing in.
Okay. Okay.
5.
5. Yep.
6.
I suppose the bad thing is that it's PVA and it's not set, and the good thing is it's PVA and you can still play with it a bit
Okay.
and get it into position. Okay,
Last one.
last one is it? So there's absolutely no glue on that now.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's get some glue on here for the last section. She's going everywhere, but I want it to go.
It's coming out of the side, isn't it?
Yeah, typical. Let me just reduce that a bit and spread it out a bit. Using the most important tool I have.
Your finger.
Don't say it like that. Okay. So that's the side pieces on, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now it's just a case of make sure these are lined up and ready to set in place. So we might take a pause now while this sets, and then we'll be back. Okay, so now we're giving that a good amount of time to dry, a couple of hours. The next stage is to add on this part, which is going to go into there, and then we add on this front part of the deck, which is going to go into the little notch there, which is on the prow, and it should also fit into this section here, like that. So we're going to glue this bit on. Okay, with the front done, we're going to move to the back. The next piece is this bit. And this goes into there.
And there should be another bit, which is that.
Then we have the back part, the stern area. It's going to go into there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those two parts on. Okay, the next stage on the instructions is very cryptic. But it basically shows all these pieces here. And it shows them exactly where they are now. What it doesn't show you is the fact that these are steps.
Oh.
And where they actually go is that one goes in there. And then that one goes on top to make the steps.
Well, that is cryptic.
Yeah, it's very cryptic. I was just looking around. There's nothing on the picture. What are these? But no, these little things they give away and they match up with the holes in these walls and stuff. So, yeah, the big step goes to the bottom, obviously, and that should fit in there. That one should fit on top, in there. And then the front ones, similar, the big step goes to the bottom, into that. Oop. Need to glue that back on again. And then that one goes on top.
Right,
like
got you.
Into the holes on these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then we have some steps.
Yay!
Okay, so the stairs are in. Now we have some fancy railings to put in. So there's 4 of these parts. And it looks like they go in there. And then there. And then there's 2 on the other side as well. So with the decor pointing upwards.
Do you want to put the next bits in as well, which are
Yeah.
these bits here?
So this is where the rigging goes, isn't it?
Yeah, so there we go.
These all the same?
Looks like it.
Yeah. So they're going to go on there. They're all the same. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these up. With those in place, we're now moving on to the upper sides of the ship. Which of these? There are 3 of these per side. And the instructions just show them as glued together. So they should all be the same length. And they should literally just fit around the edge. So in the instructions it shows them all going on at once. I'll probably layer them like I did with the bottom side, just to make sure there's plenty of glue on them. I'll go ahead and stick those on, and then there should be 3 for the other sides as well. Okay, so now we have the first part of the upper sides on. Now we have the short pieces, so there's 10 of these, isn't there?
Yes.
I think they're all the same, aren't they?
They look like they.
Seem to be universal anyway.
Yeah, I can't see any differentiation.
So they should stack in a 5, and they go on the back section here. So again, like these ones, they fit into this groove on this back piece, and they help build up the back area. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those.
And once you've done that, you might as well attach the tops.
What do these go on top
Those
of them?
go on top, probably to give them a bit of stability.
Probably. So that's going to go on either side.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Okay, so we've now built this back section up. Some glue still leaking out. That's fine. What's next?
There's 2 little
This
clips. Yeah, and 2 little
And
clips.
this bit.
They go on the back, so there should be 2 little.
So on this bit. Yeah, there's 2 sections, so they fit into there, do they?
Yes.
Okay. There's 2 little cut bits. And then this goes
At the top, on the top one.
on the top one.
Yeah. So that on one of them.
Yeah.
At the top.
Okay, so we're going to fit those in and fit that on. Okay, so we have the symbol on the back. What's next?
Is the steering wheel.
Steering wheel. And where does that go?
That goes on there.
That goes in there.
And then that
fits
goes on the top.
Right.
Of it, yeah.
Got it. So that's straightforward enough. So that'll go in there, and that'll go on there.
Yeah.
So we just need to glue that on.
Your
And
next
then-
bits are these bits here. So
these front pieces.
These front pieces. So you've got 4 of them.
Yeah.
And 1 of them that goes on top.
So it's a bit like the
to come
back
round.
part.
So it's like the back part, yeah.
Right. So we've got to build these up.
Yeah.
Is it the same on the other side? 4 and...
It is 4 and 4. Again, they look like universal, I think.
We do have little
notch out of that
notches
one.
out there. I think this is where the anchors will go.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure those are lined up, ready for the anchor to fit in.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and stick those on, and I think then everything needs to dry before we continue.
Okay.
Okay, so I've actually left this overnight to dry properly because it kept falling apart every time I picked it up. But here we go, this is where we're up to with the main part of the ship. We now want to put the anchors on the front into those little square sockets if they'll fit that are left. So these are made up of these 3 parts. So we have parts going to attach them to the ship, and we have that'll be like the chain part in the middle to hold the anchor in place. I think it goes the other way actually. It goes like that, so it's a little bit oblong. And then that should fit approximately into that square on there. And then there's another one at the other side. So we'll go ahead and put those on. And then we'll make a start on the masts. Okay, so the first mast consists of these 4 pieces here. Those 2 look like they should be the same length, and these 2 look like they should be the same length. I'm not sure how to describe them other than like prongs and stuff, but they're all different, and the other mast's different as well. But it looks like these are the ones that go together, or line up best with the instructions in front of me. So we're going to fit these 2 together, which is the easy part because we have a slot there, and those 2 seem to line up. And then we have these 2, which also seem to line up. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these in place, and I'll be back. So now we have our 2 sections, and as best as I can tell, we need to feed these into each other at an angle. Or at least that's what it looks like, in order to get these to work. Which is a lot easier said than done. Yeah. This might take some time, guys, so I'll come back when I've managed to do it. It shouldn't take as long as I thought. As soon as I stopped the camera, it pushed into play. So there we go. That's what we end up with. This round-ish mast shape. So then we have the second mast to do, which is these 4 parts, which is the same kind of thing, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 are going to go together, and those 2 are going to go together, then they're going to fit into each other. I'm going to do it off camera because you've seen me do that one, so back in a moment. Just take 2 on the masts. After switching them around, that's what you should end up with. One which is almost completely circular, kind of, with a large protrusion at the end, a small one at the bottom. Then this one, which is longer in total, same sort of thing, but it has these little sticky out bits there. That's the tallest of the 2 masts, and that will go at the front. And that should fit into this, we hope. And then this one is the shortest 2 masts, and that should fit into there. It may take a little bit of filing down the edges to make sure it goes in, but I'll be gluing these into place anyway, so I will come back once they're in place. Okay, so we have the 2 masts on. The large mast at the front goes with the 2 things at the side there. I was hoping to keep the masts separate to paint it, but they're that sort of flimsy in the way that they go together that you need to put it in to give them the structural strength, if you will. So this is how we're going to have to do it. Next up are these 2 little sections. These go on the front mast.
With the cut out bit at the front. pointing.
The square bit or the circular bit? Square bit to the front.
Square bit to the front.
So one, are they just the same these? Yeah. So one's gonna
go all the way down at the bottom.
All the way down to where that is, I imagine.
Yeah, and then the other one goes halfway down.
But there's nothing to set it on.
No.
Yay! That seems like a good design. This will be to hold the front sail.
It will be, yeah.
So ultimately, the distance between these two should be the gap in the sail. But we can't really measure that because I put the sail on.
Unless you cut one of the sails out and try and fit it.
The other thing is, these aren't particularly tight fit.
Right.
So I'm not entirely sure what this is going to hold on to. If you want it about there,
yeah,
there's nothing for it to hold on to. It's,
that seems bad.
That's a poor design choice, I'm afraid.
Definitely.
I think it should be about there. Let's get off one of the sails. Maybe.
You best not using a knife on it, just to.
So what we're looking for is the distance between those 2 points on the sail, which is about there where I've guessed it, but there's nowhere to really know because there's nowhere to actually measure where that should attach to. Okay. Yeah, so that should be about there, but it's just really loose. You'd think it would at least be a bit more.
Yeah, there's something.
A lot of the connections they use on these are just tight connections, so yeah, it's a little bit annoying. Right, even that one's
loose.
Loose, and that one's got something to sit on. What's next?
Next is the rigging things over there that you've got.
These top parts?
Those top parts, yeah. So
I presume the large one goes
to the back.
On the back, alright.
The back, and the smaller one goes at the front.
Get that one wrong then. Yeah. So that's the back one. And that's the front one.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I would have put those the wrong way around. So these should fit over the top. This looks like a better fit anyway. There we go. So that fits on there. That does rest in place because of where it is. And then we have the back one. There we go. Like that. And again, this is falling down. I would super glue this in place, this thing, but I don't know exactly where I need it. So what I'll probably do is I'll just leave it loose until I know, and then I'll super glue it because there's nothing else to really put it onto. What's next?
We need these two little parts.
Yep.
And those parts. So those seem to go in those slots there.
These?
No,
Okay.
that goes in there.
That goes in there.
And then that connector,
Yeah.
the front bit goes over that bit and then slides down and connects onto that bit there.
Oh no.
Onto the top of the mast.
Okay. So this bit goes in that way?
Yes.
If anyone who's on camera, I'm putting these tall parts in. That needs to go in that way apparently for some reason. And then this
Goes
slides over
That bit?
It's going to have to go that way.
Yeah.
And I'll go over the top, or it should go over the top.
And that bit
it
connects.
won't, because we had to glue the top part of this back on. So this is going to be extremely difficult. So I'm going to do this off camera. That needs to slide over this bit.
And rest on there.
Oh, the whole thing's going to come off. So that needs to slide over that bit. Will it do it? Will it do it? Will it do it? Not without breaking it, I don't think. I'll need to slide that down there, and then this bit will attach onto the top. Where it's at an angle, like that. So let me go ahead and do that, and do the other one as well. Okay, so I'm going to spot my deliberate mistake. I did say the large section went at the back, and then I put it at the front. So I swapped those around, which makes more sense.
They actually fit in it.
Yeah, they do.
Sort of.
Sort of, yeah. Right. What's next?
I think it's these two bits. So you've got those two bits that go on the back of there.
Right.
Yeah. And then you've got these ones that go...
So those go on there.
Yeah. And then those go...
And then the small ones go on that.
On that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's could have been done before, but
yeah, just a little.
Yeah, it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that. Next we're going to attach these two little hoops onto here and here. So that's going to slide in, put a glue on. And then this will attach onto all those little bits. Is that right?
Yeah, looks like it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to need some glue on the back of that. That needs to slide over the end. That needs to fit into there, into there, into there. So I'm right up to that bit. It will not fit over that middle part. Yeah, that was definitely the right way round.
Yeah, if you look.
Yeah, they are, but they're too low. Ah, nuts. Well, I could have done with on that one. So they need to be lifted up. So that there's a gap there. Like that. And then they'll sit on top of that. Well, they should do. But now it's got that heavy, it doesn't want to. Yeah, that might need some super glue fixing to it. The front one, I'm going to have to lift that up as well. But that just glues into place on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to super glue this back mast to give it some strength, or at least stop it from wobbling, and then I'm going to put the front on and come back. Okay, so this is where we're at. I've super glued the bottom of the mast and the top of the mast because these are way too heavy. It would be probably easier if you're doing this to put all the mast pieces together before attaching them to the bolt, and then attach them to the bolt at the end. As we've done it this way, yeah, we'll have to keep going this way. But next up are the sail sections. The large sail goes at the back. There are two tabs there at the top. They fit underneath there. Again, this would be much easier if it wasn't attached to the ship. Under there, and then we have the smaller mast Same sort of thing, but smaller. It's going to go at the front and under there. So I'm going to attach those two.
And then you've got these two little A bits that go on here.
Yeah.
And those grooves.
So we have these. They fit onto the front part here, the prow part. I don't know what this bit's called with the ship actually. One will go there. One will go there. And that'll help us to line the sail up at the front. So I'm going to attach those two, attach the two sails, and then we'll come back. Okay, so next up we have these bits. We have this long section, two circles, this sort of plus section, and then these two like A-frame type things. I'm not about to describe all that, but basically we're going to build a little bit that winds the rope in for the. I think it's for the sails, or is it for the anchors?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. It could be something where the anchors are. It could be for the anchors. But basically we have this bit supporting these two sections, like so. But then in between them we want to put this bit and the two circles. So we basically want that on there, like that. And then we're going to attach the bottom, and then we're going to attach the circle on that. So let's put that together. So you end up with this weird contraption, which I don't know whether it's for the anchor or for the sails, but it does sit next to the mast at the front, just there where my finger is, which is where it's going to get glued onto. So I'll go ahead and glue this on. Okay, so that part has been added onto there. The flat side goes up against the mast. That was the bottom, it's not just the back, whereas the bottom is just the two sides. So you can still see the wood from the hole through that. That, besides the fact we do have some parts left over, I think these are if you want to put your own sails on. There's like loops for looping them on maybe. But yeah, I'm not sure what else these would be used for. They don't seem to go anywhere in particular. I think that's what they'd be for, but there's no. I couldn't see anything in the instructions for them. Unless I've missed them. I was going to double check.
What about these bits as well?
Yeah, there's those as well. I don't know. I don't know whether these are for attaching your own sails, rather than if you don't want to use the wooden ones. There's also those two little clips there as well. I might be wrong, but it seems to go onto the cardboard section next.
I think you're right. I'll have a look through the instructions and just make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems odd that they've been included, but nothing.
So on our cardboard, give me out of the way. On our cardboard section, we have the two big sails, which I'll be attaching. We have these side parts, which I'll be attaching. We have these two bits, which I'll be attaching. The rest is fanciness. And I'm not sure whether I might paint it before I put it on. I'll make a decision. I did notice one little problem. We are missing one of the little flower sections off there because they're so brittle. That one's just empty. So that's an issue. But we'll put the sail in place so then I can attach the right bits that rest that mast. Those go at the top and those go along the sides. So I'm going to get those bits off and then actually back. Okay, so first off we have the sail pieces. There's two sail pieces, they need to be stuck together to give it some width. So those two are going to get stuck together. These bits, these are like the sides of the ship. These are going to go on, maybe it's the other way around, but yes it is. These are going to go on there, so I'm going to stick those onto the sides there. And then we have these bits here. These go over the top of the masts. And they're going to sit on these bits. So they just go over to cover, I think to cover this little thing with this there. So those are going to get glued on. The sails, now they're off. Once I've gauged where that goes, should go into there and onto those, the front. So those two things at the front should fit over those, and then I can figure out where this is meant to go. So I did just spot these. I think she was wondering if one would fit on there. Maybe that way around. To allow that to sit on something. There's nothing in the instructions to say about that.
There's nothing in the instructions. I'm just thinking, why would you include them if not to kind of attach to there to give it some sort of stability?
I think these two things are what should go on here
instead of those A things.
Yes.
Okay.
I do think that. I should have known that because I wouldn't have glued this one on. There we go.
But again, it showed the A things on it, so...
The reason I think that is because these have...
little connectors on.
Little connectors on to put this sail on. And these don't.
And again, there's no room for them then on the...
I think these, because they've got little holes in, which is what was confusing me, that's to put some string through.
Okay.
If you're putting your own sail on and not these, you could put some string through that. And that would hold the sail in place.
Yeah.
Right. So, hopefully we come back with something that looks a bit more finished. Okay, so we have our sail in place. We have those parts on the top. We have these side bits on. Take it off the decoration, just show you where it goes. The long piece there will go underneath here. This bit goes at the back on there, and this bit goes on the front. And when I'm sticking it on, I will probably start with the front because it goes right underneath there, and where this line ends is where this one will need to connect to. These are really easy to take off as well, so be careful with this. I need to take that off. And that should line up with the back, and then this one has this flat piece there which should then line up with that, so that's how they will go on. I probably won't stick them on until this is painted because I can just basically spray these in one go, then it makes it a lot easier. But as you can see, it is missing one of the little things off the end, and I think I've nearly just pulled that one off as well. That's how delicate these are. Maybe I'll just stick them on then, with that in mind. Because if I leave these off much longer, they're all going to fall off. Go on, I'll stick them on. And there we go, a finished ship.
Yay!
With all the decoration on the side. Okay. So they're missing one of the little things, but it's barely noticeable, to be fair.
That'll damage.
Yeah. So the next thing to do on this would be to seal it and then paint it, which you may see in a future video when it's done. As it is though, that is the ship.
Cool.
What do we think?
It looks really nice actually.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Now it's all together. It's very nice, but putting it together, it was a bit of a pain in the backside.
I would say, while not like super difficult, it's super fiddly. The instructions work up to a point.
They do. I think they could be a lot better, to be quite honest.
I think they could be a lot better as well.
A lot of it was guesswork and guesstimation.
I used a lot more super glue than I was expecting on a wooden model. And I I think the instructions were made by someone who's not actually put it together. And someone who also doesn't have a concept of gravity. Well, that's...
So Jedi.
It was obviously put together by someone who could use the Force and just hold everything in place, and then cause it to automatically set.
Yeah.
But the ship, for the price as well, looks excellent for the price. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be a bit smaller than it is. I mean, that's the starting size of the, like an A4 size, isn't it?
Mm.
Is that A4? It looks about A4. That's like the kit size. You can see it's bigger than that. I don't have a model to compare it to at the moment available. But yeah, it's a nice ship, to be honest. There's a few bits I need to sand down. There's a few bits, obviously, I need to make sure are stuck on. And those sections, in the instructions it shows them going on together. It might be easier to stick them on in sections rather than individual, but we will find out when we do the Richard schooner, I think. That's a future video. This looks very similar in design to this. And we also have the Guild Dow to put together. This looks easier, just from appearance. I'm probably wrong. But it looks like there's a lot less parts, if you will. But the schooner looks very similar to this in execution. But yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I'm glad I've got it. We'll probably use it for Carnivale.
You probably will do, actually, yeah.
We'll probably definitely be using it for D&D.
Yeah, definitely.
I've already got a plan.
Ooh.
So, but there we go. So, there we go. I like it. It's not easy to put together. It's very fiddly. I'd say the kit itself, maybe an 8 out of 10. Instructions, maybe 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like I said, they work up to a point, and then you're very much sort of trying to, decipher them.
Yeah, it's up to your own guesswork,
Yeah.
I suppose.
And then we have all these extra parts, which in the blurb online it says there's parts included to be able to put your own sails on, which is the only reason I can think these exist, these bits. But there is no indication of how you would ever do that in the instructions.
No, or where they even go.
At this point, when I've painted it, I may thread some string through these into there to put some rigging on the sides. I may do that, but it will also get in the way of actually using the ship. So there's a practical level to an appearance level there. So I may not. I'm going to say the answer. But if you wanted to, you could rig them up through those. There is obviously this bit here where you would put the sail, and then there's little grooves cut out where you would put like the rope, and it comes through this little hole there in the top. There's also one on that side with these holes here. There's loads of areas where you can put rigging. The only thing this was missing is maybe some flags. But those can be printed off and put on at
A later date.
At a later date. But we have ourselves a nice ship. It could also be used in Blood and Plunder.
Ooh.
To be honest, that was another one I was racking my brains to remember.
Yes.
Since I don't have any ships in Blood and Plunder yet, this would make a nice Blood and Plunder ship, to be honest. Nice little brig. There we go.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll be doing the other 2 ships eventually. We might have a little break before we do the next one. And then we'll be doing those, so stay tuned. But for now, thanks for watching. Take care.
Please like and subscribe.
Yep.
If you haven't already.
If you haven't already, that helps. And take care. Bye for now.
Bye.